Judges, are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me get a little timer here. All right. So, Mia, you ready?
Not really, but sure.
Oh, you'll do great. Just take your time and do like you practice. All right, we're all set when you are.
Okay. My statement is competition is better than cooperation. Today, I would like to focus on how competition is a very important part of life and is something you can't avoid. Not saying that you would want to avoid it after hearing my presentation. When you were young, your parents played games with you to entertain you, but also to teach you that losing is okay. Without competition, you still might cry every time your opponent hits the winning stone in tic-tac-toe. The first thing you might think of when you hear or see the word competition is sports. But competition spreads out further than just sports. It opens opportunities. It shows your strengths and weaknesses, which can later on help you in what job might be good for you. Competition is key. As I have already said, while I think that cooperation is a very important part of life, our whole life is pretty much a competition. Competition shows your strengths and weaknesses, which can open further opportunities. Competition also makes you stronger, so I think competition is just as good as cooperation. My first main point is competition strives you to get better. Imagine two companies selling similar products. Each company will try to be the better one, so they get more money because people are buying their products. Therefore, they would try to provide the best service for the customer, which would clearly be to your advantage because you're the customer. Americans were the first ones to land on the moon. Because they were competing against Russia, they worked hard to get as the same level as Russia and then better as Russia. As James Lovelock once said, if it hadn't been for the Cold War, neither Russia nor America would have been sending people into space. My second main point is competition is entertaining. If we all work together, there would be no point in watching a basketball game or even the Super Bowl. About 114.4 million people watch the Super Bowl each year. The point of these games is to go against each other and show each team's abilities. If we do not have competition, a huge part of how we entertain ourselves and others will be gone. The Mayans ball game was a game about competition. It was a very popular tradition. Mayans loved watching this game. It was one of their main entertainments. Competition is a part of life. It teaches you a lesson, it entertains you, and it brings people together. Competition helps the world progress and bring new technology. It can open doors and opportunities. It fuels to companies to reduce prices, increase quality, and have better customer service. Thank you. I now stand ready for cross-examination.
Whenever you're ready, Hannah.
Okay. So when you compete, is there a winner and a loser?
Yes.
Is it more fair whenever everyone gets their say and everything can be equal?
Could you restate the question, please?
So would it be more fair whenever everyone gets a say in the matter and everybody gets say, like, if you were fighting for land, then wouldn't it be more fair if everybody got equal land?
Yes, but that's not always how it works out because maybe one culture has a bigger population, so they might need more land.
Okay. Do you think the Treaty of Versailles was a competition for attention?
No.
Elaborate,
please. Can I change my answer?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that competition can be a distraction from what you should focus on?
I think it can be sometimes, but sometimes it's the main point of your focus.
Okay. So in the Industrial Revolution, the quality of life decreased because of factories, right?
Yes.
And these factories created pollution and smoke, and they didn't care about the lives of the people working in the factories because they were competing for who could have the best hardware and who could make the most money, correct?
Yes, but later on the inventions made in these factories were a huge part of how we live today.
Yes, the effect of the Industrial Revolution.
Time. Okay. So you can have a seat. That was 2 minutes. You can have a seat, and Hannah will prepare her opening statement. Whenever you're ready.
My topic is cooperation is better than competition. Bertrand Russell said the only thing that will redeem mankind is cooperation. Competition can be unfair, distracting, and you will never be satisfied with the results. This means that for the quality of life to improve, we have to cooperate. It is easier to cooperate than trying to compete because you will never be satisfied if you are always trying to be better than someone else. In the Industrial Revolution, everyone was competing over who had the better hardware and factories. This decreased the quality of life. The factories created a lot of smoke and pollution. They also didn't care about people's lives. The factories were in awful conditions, but people were still working in them. They were only focused on making the most money. In Animal Farm, Snowball and Napoleon are friends at first, but then they both battle for power. Napoleon drives Snowball away, so he is considered the leader. He places the blame from everything on Snowball, but he is still never satisfied. He tricks people into admitting crimes that they didn't commit and executes them, but even then he isn't satisfied and still tries to get more power. Competition can physically hurt people. If we cooperated with the radical groups, then they would stop hurting people of opposite religions. They're competing with other religions, and it would be more helpful if they tried to cooperate with everyone else. It is more fair when you cooperate because then everyone has a say in the issue instead of competing over each other. When you are working with a group, it is more fair if you listen to everyone's ideas and get fair representation. When the countries created the Treaty of Versailles, they didn't listen to what China and Italy had to say. They didn't all get equal representation. Italy and China refused to sign the treaty. This was part of how World War II started. When you play sports, you need to use teamwork to score a goal. In order to do so, you must cooperate with your teammates. If you don't work together, then it's harder to score the goals. Cooperation is better than competition because it is more fair and satisfying. When you use cooperation, you get further with people than trying to advance over them. Thank you. I now stand ready for cross-examination.
Whenever you're ready, Mia.
Oh, okay. Have you ever seen a sports game?
Yes.
Did you find it entertaining?
Yes.
Do you agree that the reason that makes it entertaining is two teams competing against each other?
Sometimes, but sometimes it's entertaining to watch how they all work together to score a goal or a home run.
Well, do you agree that without competition, watching sports has no significance?
Well, the competition is a big part of sports, but sometimes it's more entertaining to watch how like everybody on the team is friends and how they're all working together and they all have to cooperate with each other. They can't just not follow along with the play or else the game, you don't get the goal.
Well, but do you agree that without competition, there wouldn't be games, so the teams would have no chance of cooperating with each other?
Yes.
Moving on. Do you love sales and discounts?
Yes.
So if two companies sell similar products, each company will try to provide the best price for the customer, right?
Yes.
So you agree that in this example, competition is good?
Competition can be good, but if the stores said this store can have that sale and that one can do that, then there would be no competing, and you would be able to focus more on trying to get customers for that specific sale rather than trying to get them for like if you have multiple sales and trying to compete over the other one.
Moving on. Are you proud to be an American?
Yes.
Are you proud that Americans were the first ones to land on the moon?
Yes.
Do you agree that if America would not have competed against Russia at the time, they would not have taken as many risks and not have completed the task as quickly?
Time. Okay. So both of you have 1 minute to prepare your closing statements. All right, we can have Mia present her closing statement.
Competition is better than cooperation. As I have already argued, competition strives you to get better and is entertaining. Every second of your life is a competition. Winning a competition gives you a boost of self-confidence, while losing makes you come back stronger than ever. As Howard Cosell once said, the ultimate victory in competition is derived from the inner satisfaction of knowing that you have done your best and that you have gotten the most out of what you have to give. Thank you.
Cooperation is better than competition. Cooperation is productive, fair, and focused. Competition is a distraction from the other aspects. This means that in order to live together in peace, we have to learn to cooperate. Competition can decrease the quality of life as it did in the Industrial Revolution. Competition can be a distraction over other aspects and even people. In the Treaty of Versailles, the countries ignored Italy in their battle for attention. Yes, competition can bring out different aspects in a person, but they aren't always the best aspects of that person. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "We have to face the fact that either all of us are going to die together or we are going to learn to live together. And if we are to live together, we have to talk." Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Ladies, if I can have your the hard copies of your opening statement, that'd be great.